And welcome back to Skate America Practice Cam. Here with me, I have Jackie Wong for the men's practice. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Of course.
I loved what you had to say yesterday. I'm so excited to see what we're going to see now.
And we're both just bundled up and getting ready for this cold.
Absolutely. Definitely put a little more layers on today for sure. Yes. It was a little chilly by the end of day yesterday. So with that being said, like what are you looking for on this practice, knowing that they're not competing today?
Yeah.
But what would you like to see?
I would like to see kind of a continuation of yesterday. I mean, yesterday we saw a lot of, people trying to feel out the ice and figure out where they were. And I think today is going to be, a notch up in terms of, just getting the jumps out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe some quad axles from Ilia. What do you think?
Maybe a couple.
Maybe. It would be really cool to see a couple of those if he does them. Maybe in his program, maybe not. We're going to find out.
We'll see. I think there's going to be a lot of free skates today.
Yeah, I would imagine so. A lot of people did their shorts yesterday and just getting themselves like the on-off days with those, and maybe even a couple backflips. Who knows if they want to warm those up? Who knows? So we're going to find out and keep following along for that. And on the screen there, you can see the schedule for today. We're right now at the men's practice, followed by the ice dance practice, and then later tonight at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, you are going to see the Paris Shore program kicking off Skate America. It's game time.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, we're getting there.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So I think just in terms of approach for this practice, as we just talked about, it's going to be interesting to see how people approach this. Maybe you'll see some heavier loaded programs. You might see some lighter ones again, depending on what they're wanting out of this practice in terms of energy management and whatnot. So it's going to be really interesting to see everyone's approach for it.
I mean, I'm already seeing a more kind of aggressive, assertive skating going on in this 6 minutes going on.
Wesley Chiu from Canada, Nozomu YOSHIOKA from Japan, Donovan CARRILLO from Mexico, Maxim Naumov from the United States of America, and BROUSSARD from the United States of America.
Donovan CARRILLO did his free yesterday, so this is looking like a high energy short that we're about to get.
It's usually expected with him. Get that crowd behind him and it goes nuts. You can also see, like, with the other practices that have been happening and even the start of this one, the skaters settling into the ice a little bit more. Once you get and finish your first practice, like, you can get a lot of feedback, not necessarily externally, but more internal feedback from what felt good or what to expect or anticipate with the ice, and also how that changes throughout the day with the temperature, like when it gets colder or if it gets warmer, how the ice changes and feel of harder or soft. And just, I can imagine that makes a difference for these jumping passes as well that these guys are taking.
Can you talk a little bit more about soft ice versus hard ice? Because I think viewers hear that term a lot,
Yeah.
and they're like, what does that actually mean? Like, and everybody has a different preference of what they like.
That's so interesting. So, like, I mean, I think that in terms of that, soft ice will be more absorbent, I find, and I always was more of a fan of that soft ice because I felt like I could dig into it without it feeling like with harder ice. I find that it would cut and like sometimes even break underneath you depending on the way that it's done. So like you could pull a deep edge, and even for these guys that are jumping, I can imagine that it breaking underneath them as opposed to something that will help them create that spring. Now, the softer ice will take a little longer to get worse throughout the session, I find. But I was always more of a fan of the soft ice because I found that it wasn't as loud, too.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Hard
like,
ice is very loud.
It's so loud,
Yeah.
and then the judges are like, "Oh my gosh, you're so loud," and and you're like, "I'm trying so hard. I'm trying to be so quiet," and that's not his music. It's all good. It's a practice for a reason.
Are we there again? I feel like this happened yesterday.
That's right.
I feel like the Japanese team leader is like ready for music.
I think she's been hanging out over there, actually.
Yeah. Like, nope. Not this one.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting though. I was watching the practices from up in the stands earlier, and it does feel like this ice has a certain kind of pop to it that I don't usually see on the toe jumps for sure. So could be that this ice is a little bit harder. And you can really see some of the skaters just spending a lot of time trying to figure out like how to get into the ice. Like Livia Kaiser last session was just like having all kinds of trouble with her toe jumps, and then at the end she kind of figured it out.
There's an adjustment period for sure, and what's crazy too is sometimes like ice gets better throughout the week, and also sometimes it goes the other way, and that's always tough when you're competing on your Saturday or Sunday because like you're doing a Sunday start or Sunday free program, and the ice is just going in the opposite direction you'd like.
Very Halloween.
Spooky season.
Yeah.
Skating the free program now, Wesley Chiu from Canada, to be followed by Nozomu YOSHIOKA.
One of those breakthrough skates that makes him create that trust in himself, because I can imagine that he works very hard, but that'll just build on that consistency.
It's really all there. It's that trust that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think so. And so like that's the trust within, and people see it as confidence. Oh, he's so confident. Oh my gosh, it's really at the end of the day that only comes from when you trust yourself, when you believe that it's going to work and it's enough.
As an ice dancer, what do you think about freestyle spins?
Freestyle spins?
Yeah.
They look pretty hard, first off. I've noticed a lot of these, a couple people trying these like heel things.
Oh, yeah.
That's a new level this year, is that right?
Yes.
And then some people are doing difficult exits as well. Like I'm seeing a lot of knee slides out of some. I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, I love like a great Jason Brown spin. And like when Keegan was on, a Keegan Messing spin, just because it's so fast and dynamic. I think that spins in men's and women, I think, have such a potential to really add to a program, where I think in pairs and ice dance, they actually kind of take away.
Oh, interesting.
I think that it's the part of a free dance that majority of the time I always see one, it always pulls me out because it's there, even if the musicality is great and it's interesting. I'm not usually impressed.
Nozomu is one of those guys who he really pops out of those jumps. You can see the
so chill going into it.
Yeah, and even that popped quad toe, like you could see him go up in the air before he rotates, and there was just something a little bit off about the toe tap that made him a little bit crooked, and he was like, nope, just gonna do that double. Pops are weird. Like it's a weird feeling in your body.
Exercises would you recommend? Oh, very, very interesting question. So, I think that first off, understanding how the biomechanics of the body works, having the hip, knee, and ankle all work together, because at the end of the day, like, I want to maximize the amount of my body weight that can go into a push. Now, so many things that you can do, and it's about patience, in my opinion.
Dr. Baker.
Yeah, I love skating skills.
I like that program for Nozomu.
Me too.
Just it's easy. It's nice, right? Like it's easy in the sense of like you don't ever feel kind of tense with it.
And that's it, right? Like it's finding that fine line of like you want to do something interesting, you want to do something creative, but sometimes reaching too far is like, it's a miss. That's not going to be too much of a miss for me if it's skated well.
Yeah.
What does Donovan have in store for us?
Something exciting.
Here we go.
Oh, hip, hip, chin, chin. I forgot.
Sweet.
The subject for tonight's lecture is rhythm.
It's rhythm. The beat.
The driving force that holds our lives together. And so tonight, we say hip hip, chin chin, the rhythm's action, the beat, the beat, the beat.
He's been having trouble in the warm-up so far, a lot of leaning back toward the heel. Just kind of, what that often happens when you take off on the jump and kind of try a little bit too hard on the jump.
Yeah.
There he goes again on the heel. Same thing. Just like that forward momentum that ends up getting countered by a backward momentum that you end up just on the wrong side of your blade.
Yeah, you end up like doing a small overcorrection to fix
exactly.
the forward, so you overcorrect and go back. You need that golden middle.
It's such a split-second kind of timing.
Oh, milliseconds for sure. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure, I can't speak on jumping, but I really think it's all comes down to a feeling. It comes to how do you find that feeling within your own body, because your timing will be very different than Donovan's, will be very different from Kao's, and so on. Oh, I like this change of gear music here.
I mean, even we were talking about this yesterday about how he's matured in the way that he's skated.
Yeah.
Even this program,
yeah.
The choice of music, the cuts, and like, it's not just about like, hey, I'm going to be flashy and like get the crowd to clap for me. It really is about an artistic performance for him, much more so than it used to be. I think.
You know what?
I love that progression for him.
Me too. I feel like Donovan's going into his suave era now. Like, he knows a little bit more of like who he is in a way that I feel like he's not trying to be performing and he's just performing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Double knee slides are so cool. They also hurt.
Yeah, especially if you're second group.
Yes. The ice is done for.
And speaking of that, actually, as we talked earlier about ice, I mean, I think that when that ice is cut up, I know that more times than not, Caitlin ended up getting cuts on her knees when we had choreographic sliding movements, and it's just like how it changes so much for you doing any of those knee slides. If he skates first after the ice cut, that could carry another 10 feet without him fully anticipating it, which definitely changes the trajectory of where he'd like to go. I like it, though. I think that it has a really good quality to that performance, and it'll be fun to see how it grows. Jackie, and that patience that's required. If he does a little too much, there's too much pepper in the pasta. think this might be Tron.
It is Tron.
Ah.
It's very Tron.
Digital Frontier got
They just
me.
said they just said computer, so
That'll do it.
that's the amount of Tron and Dune programs.
Yeah,
Dune is
quite a few this year.
very many.
What's so interesting too about the Dune is that I've actually seen quite a few of them at the junior and the senior
Yeah.
level, but no one has the same cut,
Right? Yeah.
which is
Yes.
so cool in my opinion. Is like we're having so many different opportunities to explore it. It's not like a Phantom of the Opera. You're gonna get Music of the Night,
or
100%.
Pirates of the Caribbean. And
Like
you're
dun,
gonna
dun,
get
dun,
that.
dun,
Oh my
dun,
gosh.
like you're gonna get it, which
Yeah.
I get. But
Yeah.
what I love about the Dune program is there's so much content. There's so much musical beauty within it that you're getting the interpretations built for the skater.
Yeah.
So I think it's really interesting to see how they develop.
It does help when there's no precedent for it and people are actually trying to find the right pieces.
Absolutely, right?
I mean, even Tron, right? Like we've had Tron programs before, but you know, Max has picked different ones here.
Did Max Aaron ever do Tron?
I think so.
I think he did, right? It's a
can
Max
remem-
thing.
I can
But I remember
I
it.
can remember the costume.
That and the West Side Story. Ooh, very cool. I love the way the body just worked
Yes.
there. That was sick.
Great movements.
I love when these guys let it rip like that. Like, show me what you can do.
I do feel like the last few years, choreo sequences for men have been what spiral sequences used to be for the women, where
Yeah.
it's like we see people try to just one up each other.
Oh,
on it.
yeah. I mean, that's competition, right?
Yeah.
But show me what
But
you
it's
got.
also like almost everybody does their choreo at the very end of the program, and
Yeah.
so that's that often becomes the memorable part that like sticks in your head.
Absolutely.
Right at the end.
Absolutely. And I can only imagine the level of commitment that they're doing to get that GOE. It's so high, and how much physically taxing that is. Oh, Lucas, come on, my dude. You can't do me like that. It looks so good.
The counterbalancing of his upper body here is very different than a lot of skaters where they
significantly. I didn't feel that once within this performance. I thought it was right in like the comfort level of where his energy lies naturally. I think it really felt like it was him.
Yeah. There's a certain thing around, because he was doing 4 seasons for his free skate, there's a certain thing around you gotta be sort of fierce and assertive during parts of 4 seasons that he's working on, but he doesn't. It's not quite as natural to him as this more lyrical style.
Yeah, I think yeah, like that. There's that assertiveness and commanding of space that comes, especially as the music and the violin in 4 seasons intensifies. I want to feel that intensity rise, and Lucas is such a gentle person, which is such a beauty to his skating. But I think that gentleness can be tailored in a way that will be seen throughout that other program.
Okay, I had some questions for you from yesterday. Because I was asking for people to give me questions.
Great.
And, let me see. Oh, there's 1 minute remaining. I'm going to get one for you. Who is your commentary role model?
Oh my gosh.
Is it me?
I mean, is it Jackie? I'd say it's the same as my skating role model. There's not just one, but it's like kind of a hybrid of many. I love the clarity that you create. I love what Ben Augusto and Tanith Belbin also bring to the table. I think that Tanith was an exquisite commentator. I know we've actually discussed that, you and I, and I think that just the
ability. She has such a way with words.
Yeah, it's very articulate, it's very digestible and understandable, but also like very honest as well. It's not sugarcoating things. Like if someone has not a great skate, she's going to let you know and let the audience know that that's absolutely not what they wanted to do, but it comes with the job. And I think that Tanith and I obviously just love Ben, worked with him myself on the ice, but I think that just his overall personality is just unreal, and his skating knowledge is just so deep and exquisite. It's crazy. So all of the above.
A different question here. How often do skaters wash their costumes?
Oh, we covered that with Ashley.
Did you?
Mariah, I think, or Ashley, one of the two. Often do they wash their costumes? I guess it really determines on what the costume is, right, and how you get it washed. Because like you don't just throw it in the washing machine, because like some of these are airbrushed and dyed, and if you don't wash that right, you just threw about $3 grand down the drain, and that's probably on the cheaper side for some costumes, to be honest with you. So I think that there's a lot of tips and tricks that happen. I think the worst is when you have like a warm-up or a practice, and then you have warm-up not being your 5 or 6 minute, but like this, how the pairs and the women had earlier today, but where you have your practice and then 2 hours later you have your event. Because if you're wearing that costume on the practice, you better find your nearest fan and let that thing dry out. Because the amount of times I've been at competitions and I go back to the hotel, we have 3 hours, I got to open that window and hang up my costume. Because there's nothing worse than you getting on for that warm-up later in the day to compete, and it's just a little damp. I'm going to be honest, it's a little not the nicest, but it's what it is.
It's like you finish your gym session and then you have to go wear that same thing 3 hours later.
Yeah, we're gonna do another lift later. Okay, see you later. 2 hours later, you're like, oh, okay, this doesn't feel good. No one likes putting on wet socks. So it's your best reference point. Best thing you can do.
Wet socks. There you go.
Wet socks. So dry them out. Little tips and tricks. I think Ashley or Mariah gave those earlier. Yeah, Godspeed.
All right, that first group was already very good, and this one, you know, the draw has it that, you know, these are the higher ranked skaters in international events, right? And so this is at least on paper supposed to be the even stronger group, but you know, I do think that that first group's going to have some surprises.
I think so, and I think what's super cool about this field is that within men's particularly, you can have people going all over the place just based on the way that they skate. I mean, you can get rankings and placements moving.
For those who don't know, it is called menning.
Menning.
It's
menning.
Called menning.
Yeah, we don't have dancing.
No.
we got your skating order set, and maybe you're going to see 2 placements change around. And that's just the way it is, because we don't, like in ice dance, we don't have big ticket elements, and for the most part, you're at a World Championships, your top 15 are going to be getting exactly the same technical sheet with the footworks down to the levels. So it really comes down to the judges and the GOE. Where I think some of these guys, you might see a quad axle, you could see some crazy combinations even later in the program that can just like rack up those points. Or if you just are a little under on a couple jumps themselves, it's going to start mounting up. Like every point counts.
We were talking yesterday about Kao Miura, who's on this piece of ice here for this session. He was talking in the mix zone afterwards, and the discomfort that we saw on the ice yesterday for a warm up was because he's a little bit injured, and he's carrying from that injury from Lombardia. So we'll see how he's sort of coping with that today.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be just about management, I think. Like, maybe he's totally fine. We don't know. But I think it's, hi, nice and close.
Nice and close.
You guys smelled his cologne at that point. I don't know.
Kao doing a triple loop right into the boards, basically.
Notice Ilia really likes to take his time warming up.
He does.
He likes to take his time. I respect that. He doesn't feel a sense of urgency, no rush. He's just doing his own thing. I really notice that as he gets older too. He's a little bit more in his bubble, especially when it comes to competition. He really just hones in on what he wants, what he needs, and how to get it.
Basically spending this first 6 minutes doing jumps. I don't think, I might be wrong, I don't think he's coming up early in the run through, so this might be one of those sessions where he just gets his jumps out of the way and then works on everything else.
I mean, I guess just strategically too, it might be easier to do it when no one's music is playing, because you don't have to have that awareness. Like, you can really just prioritize the setup you like. We did do that sometimes too, actually. I mean, not jump, but when it came to if we were skating 4th or 5th in a group, understanding that after that last skater's done, there's only about 4 or 5 minutes left. And if we were skating that late in the group, we didn't want to have to know that we had a bunch of things to do afterwards. So we would hammer out the elements that we know we weren't going to do after our run through beforehand.
I just personally don't have any idea how you all watch out for each other as ice dancers.
Well, I mean, sometimes they don't.
I mean, it's it's crazy.
Yeah, it's takes a lot of patience and respect. I mean, everyone is just trying to do the best they can.
Nika waving to the judges, breaking that 4th wall.
That's it. Reach over, put a +5, see what happens. No one's done it yet. You guys can touch the boards now, so I'll just put a 9.5 in skating skills if you don't mind me.
What?
Okay.
He's putting that into his program.
Putting that work in.
That is new for him. I do find that his skating has improved in his musicality. I haven't seen a great amount of kind of general improvement in his basics, but the way that he's interpreting the music has gotten better and better every season.
Yeah, I believe that as well. I do see that. I mean, I know for these men, it must be so hard to find enough time in the day to do all the things that you need when you're trying to work on so many different jumping passes, your spins, and then once you're taxed from that, you're telling me that you want me to work on skating skills. Like, yeah, I am telling you that, but I think that it must be challenging, and how they do their work in the off season, I think, is so crucial to how they develop throughout the year.
Quite.
Fours? Got quite a bit of content.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, with the addition of the Lutz, it changes his technical quite a bit, and he repeats a triple axel.
We got Deniss.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
So Nika's still going. Love that I'm learning so much right now. I'm not even gonna lie, it's so cool. Pairs used to have a bonus. Second
Pairs
half,
used
right?
to have a bonus, yeah. And then they took it out because it was deemed that they were basically making things more dangerous.
Yeah. Maybe a silly question. Do you think any element should be backloaded for ice dance? And if yes, what?
I think...
Because there's not really explosiveness.
I think the 1 foot.
Whoa. Yo, those are fighting words. If you notice, we always did it as our first or second element.
Know, because they're hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of a 4-minute program, doing like a whole thing on 1 foot, no.
I could guarantee you that you'd probably see one team do it, and that's it. Yeah. But like, what you would gain in 10% bonus, you would lose in levels.
It's not worth it.
Be interesting, or like a twizzle set, just because to get that unison at 4 minutes or 3 minutes would be tough.
Well, Kao is going for it. That quad loop at the beginning there. Shaking out that left leg, it seems like. Quad toe, triple toe. So far, he is jumping stronger.
Yeah, he's really just going for jumps right now.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna just use this music, do a quick jump, and then take a sec.
Yeah.
I respect it. He knows what he wants.
I mean, talk about efficiency in practices, right? Like,
yeah.
He really... Oh, boy.
I don't know if he's feeling awesome.
Yeah. Waxels are the worst, really. I think that is. I think it's the left leg that he's been dealing with, and so the axle takes off on the left leg, and something probably felt uncomfortable. And he went up and was like, "No, it's not happening."
Something's bothering him with it. So hard to work through things like that. I mean, Caitlin and I operated with so many different injuries and things to make it work, and it's so hard just to manage the energy and manage that pain barrier and figure out when is the right time to push and when is it not.
Oh, he's got another day until competition, so
Yeah.
I think it's a question of whether it is worth it to push through whatever that injury that he's got right now is. Sometimes with these things, you just, you wake up one day and you feel much worse or much better than the other day.
Yep. The skater like Kao, I feel like he knows exactly what he needs as well.
Right.
In terms of ice and on the ice or off the ice. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see him cut this practice short again just to get that recovery in. Just touch the ice, do what you need, go home, rest. The power of visualization can take you so far. It's actually insane. And that's self-belief.
See, that's the thing I always visualize me falling, so.
It's pretty.
That's the power.
You know what?
Power.
That's it. That's it, though. I mean, that's unfortunate. That's the one you're doing. You got to restart.
I'm a catastrophizer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Even as an athlete, like we would do so much visualization, and I like whenever I would visualize a mistake, I'd restart. And sometimes, like, I would do way too many like run-throughs in my mind, but I wanted to make sure I knew what feeling I wanted.
We'll keep an eye on Kao as the practice goes on. Ilia Malinin on. Vampires.
Yeah. Honestly, conceptually, very good for him. With a performance like this, you don't need that much facial engagement straight out of the gate.
I think this might be one of those programs he might mark the first half and do the second half. He's very used to doing those types of programs.
His artistry has come so far.
So what it looks like the flip goes first, axle goes second. And then he's probably got toe and cell. There's the toe.
You can see the amount of effort he's put into his artistry. Just awareness to detail, intention, clarity, like he is showing us, or will show us, hopefully, a full package.
No, marking the whole thing.
fast, too. He's covering.
First time I've seen him live since Worlds, and I do what I see differently from him is the commitment to power. I do think the last couple of seasons there were times when especially the free skate, there were just very specific times when he was resting.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna commit as much as I can, but it's still sort of like, okay, I'm gonna not quite go there. And I think this season has gotten different in that sense.
Marks the program, does a backflip.
He's not gonna mark that one, I guess.
No.
It's a back layout, step out. I do find that the interesting thing about that backflip was that I didn't feel like I was waiting for it. Like it happened, and I was like, that integrated.
Oh, extremely.
Right.
Do you think that his strategy just for that, marking that program realistically for the jumps, but then skating out the rest, was intentional in terms of showing all of that work that he has put in?
Right. Absolutely.
We know he can jump.
Yeah. But I do. That's the thing about adding the jumps, right? Is when he does his programs without jumps, the ice coverage is bigger.
Yeah,
of
course.
The commitment is stronger, and then it's about combining those two and not necessarily just focusing on the jumps and being able to balance those two.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh,
shut up on that one, and let's go.
No, I like it. I like it. You're absolutely right.
What's up? I feel like the Matrix is very French because of Brian Joubert.
Yeah. Huh?
I say I've been very impressed with his power too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this first half. That's the interesting thing. I was talking about how the power was there in the first half, and he slowed down significantly in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's building speed back, but it is different. It is a different source of the speed from the beginning of his program, where it was much more on the basics, and here is much more on the crossovers.
Speed. He's like, this is me time. This is like my time to create speed versus like I'm gonna carry the speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Paddling out to the wave versus riding that wave.
That whole thing about effort versus not like effortless versus actually putting in effort, right?
Yeah.
And you saw the big difference in this is, I know it's practice, right? But you saw the big difference in the way that he carried himself at the beginning of the program versus the second half.
And if you let yourself down, like what I always found interesting and what I noticed, like when skaters take breaks in programs, like don't get me wrong, we never did full run-throughs really in competition practices, but we always made sure that we tried to keep that energy alive in the breaks, because it's like when you boil water, you take it off the heat, it stops boiling, and then you put it back on. It's going to take a couple seconds to get it back where you want, rather than just turning the heat down and you turn it back up. It's exactly the same thing. Like I want to keep that energy simmering the whole time on like a dimmer, as opposed to turning the lights on and then off.
You are just a king of analogies
Oh,
today.
you have no idea, Jackie. I'm just, that's how I coach. Everything's an analogy. But then you understand, right? Like you're seeing something, and it's hard because you want to, that's when you lose your audience, is in that off moment. I don't want the off moment, I just want it turned down.
Yeah. All right, we got Deniss coming up. Jean-luc and I were oohing earlier unexpectedly because he landed a beautiful quad style right in front of us.
Beautiful.
Another one with long limbs.
Very.
Again, these vaulting jumps just look so nice when that happens.
Mm-hmm. It's a long time that I felt like he was skating the same direction just then. But this was out of that corner was, I think, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the first time he changed direction coming out of that opposition of skating. It's just, it ends up looking a little bit more like a rhythm dance then, because I know that's a rule that we have.
It is that subtlety of ice composition or program composition that a lot of people don't necessarily see, especially on camera, because you're always focused on centering the skater on camera.
Yep.
When you're actually in the arena, you see the if it's repetitive or if it's the same kind of pattern, you see it a lot more.
Yeah. I think it's really important to, like, I love when skaters go from one end to the other, but I don't want it to look like a tennis match. I want it to still have different shapes to it and whatnot.
I feel like that's a new ending pose for the season.
Yeah, I think so.
Skating the
That and the dying.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of laying down, but I've seen that one a couple times now. Maybe it was cleared on click and clear. We can use that one. Up next is Kevin Aymoz from France. I really would want him to skate clean here this weekend.
Or at least some semblance of it.
Yeah, just to give himself that, regardless of a result.
Feels like he's skating a little bit in his head right now.
Mm-hmm. The in-betweens are beautiful of what he's producing. It's like quality is very high on all of these moves here. Keeps it interesting and intriguing and just content is excellent within it.
See how fast he just went down the ice just now.
Yeah. His is like base root of skating skill and body awareness is so high.
That was maybe 5 steps and he was down the length of the ice.
Yeah. Whoa, that was close.
And it's interesting because in the past, I feel like when skaters had sort of mental blocks with their programs, they will, you know, maybe take out the quad or, you know, take out something that is...
Wow. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was very cool. Continue.
Something that is just big for them. But I do think it's just watching him the last few competitions, it is like every single jump is a minefield for him.
Yeah.
Even something simple for him like a triple loop.
Yeah.
Or triple lutz.
Because physically, like, he can absolutely manage all of it and handle it. It's going to be a matter of the ability to handle. Oh.
Get all the way around to that the judging panel.
That's it. Yeah, I think physically he can handle them. It's just more of a matter of, I think, that mental game, staying engaged, staying in the moment, and letting yourself stay focused.
There are 2 minutes remaining in this practice session. If we have mispronounced your name, please notify the announcing team.
So we are just wrapping up the men's practice here. Thank you so much, Jackie, for coming along, giving us your insight.
Always.
Honestly, it's been so amazing. Who are you most excited for the event now?
Like everybody, I don't know.
I was what was interesting was I was saying I was going to keep an eye on Kao Miura, and he did some good stuff out there.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe it's getting a little bit looser, whatever injury he's got. But I hope he can just rest up, because I think if he puts out his best, he's just such a dynamic skater, and he's got so much to offer. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what Kao can do. I mean, I think Ilia is going to be amazing. I mean, what we saw today, there's just some beautiful skating, some dynamic skating. I'm super excited to see it tomorrow night. You can actually catch the event at 6 p.m. Central Time on E! So be sure to tune in, and thank you again for joining us, Jackie.
Yay! Have fun.
We welcome you to the most important annual event in American skating. It's anyone's game when the skaters take the ice tonight at Nationals. Ham and O'Shea win the gold medal. Simply the best in the world.
The way that he moves across the ice is just like butter.
March 25th through the 30th, 2025, the world comes to Boston and the TD Garden. Over 300 of figure skating's best will compete at the 2025 ISU World Figure Skating Championships for the title of World Champion. The world's most celebrated skating competition returns to Boston and the United States for the first time in 9 years, and you can be there. Advance tickets are on sale now. Visit isuworlds2025.com for more information and to buy your tickets today.